wrong, I'm sure. As we will get into it, 5 heroes might just run into 5 heroes here down in the bot Radiant jungle. The CDUB are going to be holding a high ground advantage. And it seems like Ravens, they're just going to place a quick ward down. That'll be enough for them. They'll back their way out of there. Interesting ward placement as well. Like, not going to do much for the laning stage, but I suppose, you know, if you want to prioritize the 3-minute bounty rune, see the rotations to the mid lane. I suppose that is going to be important for RRL. Like, he doesn't want the supports rotating from CDUB into the mid lane because his laning stage for the first few levels should be a little bit challenging against Mark. Mind you, Mark does go for the Scream of Pain level 1, so it doesn't opt for the Shadow Strike. So it looks like Mark might just prioritize actually just CSing rather than trying to harass out the Ember for level 1, which is absolutely fair as well. CDUB moving in. Duster, he'll front line, but you don't want to go up against that Undying. I think it's going to be a 2-for-2, no, a 3-for-1 in the favor of Ravens to get started, which is fantastic when you've got an Alchemist on your side of things, because he loves a bit of bonus gold.
Get to start off with a little bit more here for Argus. Italiano just clicking a lot faster on that bot river bounty, so feeling good here for the side of Ravens. Still taking a look at these lanes breaking out. Looking at that pivotal mid, RL still holding on. We'll go for the Flame Guard now. And then knowing that the Scream of Pain's up on Mark, so might as well get a little bit of a shield going. Mark can still get some good right-click harass, which RL has to respect. The right-click of the Quap is pretty big. And just off the right-clicks, RL's down to 200 HP. And that is just one thing. You naturally have the Quap advantage purely with right-click harass. At least until the Sleight of Fist is stopped, RL it's not going to be comfy here.
Absolutely not. RL should have a bit of a disadvantage. Mark now level 2 can really start applying pressure. RL just going to try and tank through all of this. Get the few points up in Flame Guard and then go from there as top lane. Argus already finding first blood. Kara helped a lot there because he does have 12 strength stolen with the decay. 8 of those were on the Underlord, so he lost a lot of HP. And Argus, with the Unstable Concoction level 1, was able to secure the first kill of the game.
That's not exactly what you want to be seeing up top. And this lane can be a little bit more passive coming out from the side of CDUB for sure. It is an Underlord lane, so you're really not looking to do too much. But there's not much Sanctified can do to drag them away. He doesn't have the blinding light up, so you can't just shove them away when they do get the chase down onto Isla. You're very squishy as well on that Kotl, so Kara with his right clicks can just run you down. And down the line, once you've got the room to drop that tombstone, this can be a really scary lane. So CDUB will have to watch themselves. And already a strong start for Argus, having all those bounties on hand.
Sanctified.
Just these kill opportunities.
Sanctified, that was a very, very awkward situation. He tried to illuminate the creep wave again, but didn't recognize Kara had hit level 2, so it was a very simple kill for the Undying. Not respecting the level 2 timing, which is one of the strongest laning timings you can have, especially when it comes to this hero. They'll try to deal with the tombstone, but Argus is going to be there to defend it. Isla waiting for the deny attempt. He's going to get it. They do get it on Sanctified, so very nice pick off there onto the tombstone.
Yeah. Nice little take, but not enough to compensate for a strong start for Argus, just uncontested. Level 3 now on the Alk, level 2 Unstable Concoction with the Acid Spray. A lot of output now. We'll see if they can hold through there for CDUB up top. Down bot, of course, we've got Italiano on that Doom, along with Wake Me Up on that Rubik. They are up against Double King on his signature Raid King. And you've got good old Duster hanging around with the Enigma. This lane also pretty passive. Not the easiest for the Raid King to solo, as it is a Doom Rubik. Like, minus attack damage with Fade Vault. The rundown with Scorched Earth can be pretty scary for the Raid King. Duster can just get the pulse and farm up himself in the jungle. It is greedier and can be punished.
Duster might just be dead. Scorched Earth has been popped. He can just chase him down, an Italiano gangster. And Wake Me Up, able to secure the kill onto the Enigma. Double King doing his best to trade some harass back the way of Italiano. But he's got the Ring of Health up, so it's going to be no issues for him to just stay in the bot lane. And of course, Wake Me Up is just handing him tangos. that's kind of the issue with the Enigma Pos 5. You cannot apply much pressure at the moment with this hero. Not as a position 5. It's so level dependent. You're just not finding it on Duster. Like, he's stuck at level 2. You don't want to soak too much XP off your Wraith King anyway. So it's a bit of an awkward laning stage for CDUB thus far.
Yeah. It's just a lot slower down bot and a lot slower up top. The only lane for CDUB going decently well is that mid lane, which is to be expected. Even then, Mark's not having a massive lead over RL. Not too many denies, not that big in terms of the CS. RL holding his own. Is forced to go for the 1-1 tree build though on the Ember, which is less than ideal. It's a little bit more passive as you hit level 6. You're not going to be able to run down with Sleight of Fist, but you are looking at a pretty passive start anyway from both sides, so you're more than happy to kind of sustain through that. I think for CDUB, this game hinges on a couple of things. It hinges on a good start for your Quap and you're a really fast timing for Double King into the Armlet Radiance. I don't see the Armlet Radiance coming out at that fast of a timing because you kind of need to tie in with this summon army that you do have. Like, you've got the Skellies and the Eidolons. You can get a push going fast, but I don't know where you bring out that push, when that push is comfy to do up against this line of Ravens who can always have the damage, who can defend their towers pretty well with Tombstone, hold an area pretty damn well. Your hold for something like an Ember here on CDUB, it's also not ideal. So once RL has the levels, he can just dance around you, and with a Maelstrom build up against that summon army, even that push might not even go true.
Things going very, very well so far for Ravens here in this game 1. Isla. The top lane going to be chased. This could be a pretty bad scenario for him. I don't think they can really dive though. Isla with the level 1 Atrophy Aura, removing enough damage that he's going to be able to survive, but he's not able to find much farm here on the Underworld whatsoever. Can't get to that early Vanguard timing. Meanwhile, mid lane, Dust is showing up, but feeds a kill back the way of RRL. Mark trying to fight, pops the Sonic Wave, wake me up, going for the TP play! Oh, he's going to make it! Oh, it's so unfortunate. CDUB are getting nothing, and Mark is still in trouble. The Tombstone's been dropped. RRL's going to move in. But can't get in range for a Sleight of Fist. Oh, Ravens, they are having such a good time, even top lane. Isla goes down again. Argus able to pick up his second of the game. Mid lane, still havoc happening here as they are protecting the Tombstone. Mark dropping very, very low, needs to back out of there. Sanctify moving in for the Tombstone, does get it. Not allowing the deny away from Kara. But my goodness, CDUB, they need to try and slow the pacing down of Ravens right now. John, it's 0-5 already.
Yeah, it's looking really rough for CDUB. Every single time they try to make something happen in mid, like these side lanes just do nothing. Like Wraith King can hold his own solo for sure, but Italiano has room to run up, try to scorch dirt, just get free devours. Once he has Doom, he can threaten for a kill. Argus, you can't underestimate the laning of an Alk. Just his output, his durability early on, it's not something that you can necessarily deal with as an Underlord all too well, and an Alk doesn't mind a free farm lane. And with his commitment mid, with your lack of hold from your supports, it doesn't feel great in trying to find these pickoffs. Like, the Ember's just so mobile with the Remnants up. I don't know if you can lock him in at all. You have what? You have Malefice, really. That's it. Until something like the Black Hole's up. And again, it's not the easiest time to look for those Black Hole angles anyway if you had the levels. So Ravens, they have a great understanding of what they have to do in this game. They're just holding out, finding some pickoffs, still getting that farm up that they'd want on the Doom and the Alk. And CDUB just get nothing. No early activity. Sonic Wave doesn't do much in the first usage. Rune Control's on Raven's way as well. RL finding himself a juicy double damage rune to play with. And for CDUB, I mean, they're already jungling here with Double King. I'd say at this point, don't even bother with the Armlet. Just go rush Radiance on Wraith King. Try to keep this farm game up, because I don't know if you'll have presence with the Armlet up. I don't know if you'll have room, and we do see Double King changing his queue up. He will go Radiance first now.
That makes sense. He's getting plenty of farm here on this Wraith King, like not quite as much as the Arc Doom, but that is to be expected. Double King fully understanding that he's going to need a bit more time on the Wraith King to be as farmed as RRL. Speaking of farming, going to take a lot of the stacks away here from CDUB. Nice play, just ensuring the catch-up potential is not going to be there for the Underlord. Oh, even the Quap's quite far behind when it comes to the net worth board, so I'm sure Mark would have appreciated that farm. But won't be able to take it himself now, so they'll have to get back to stacking here on the Keeper of the Light. Even those ancient stacks that Sanctified's made, they've got to be very cautious not to have those stolen away, because you are still up against an Alchemist and an Undying. So if they do infiltrate that Dyad Triangle again, an Acid Spray plus the Tombstone can make short work of the ancient stacks that you have been making. And they are very well aware that they are there now, thanks to the rotation in from RRL. So CDUB, they do need to be cautious to protect that.
But hang on, and that's their catch-up mechanic. You need to get room out to the point where you're comfy on clearing it on CDUB. Just going for it a little bit earlier, I think, than you'd want to. Just because the threat is there from Ravens. They do deny off the regen rune for both sides, so RRL and Mark not going to have access to that. A little bit more impactful onto Mark, has an empty bottle on hand. Feel pretty nice here. Might is fully up and running now for Italiano. Again, free farm. Pretty much every lane right now for the side of Ravens, save for mid. It's always interesting as well when you've got the Raid King versus Alec, because it does feel like your item buildup is almost the same. Radiance Rush for both Double King and Argus, but when this is an Alchemist, you're just going to rush into it faster.
Kara's being so annoying on this Undying, just moving in for a decay on the Ancients, almost stealing the big ones as well. He might have got a couple of the small ones, because it is a level 3 decay now.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
But just even soaking the XP away from the Underlord is going to be quite frustrating here for Isla. This Undying already level 6.5, moving into the tier 1 mid tower now. The chains are out, they're moving into the Quap, but Mark is going to be okay to blink away. It is only a level 1 chains, of course, on RRL. But plenty of aggression in the mid lane with the siege creep. Half the HP of the tier 1 tower now gone. Ravens, I think very well understanding against a team like CDUB, you do not want to allow them any kind of breathing room. Isla gonna get stunned up. Argus finding the vision just in the nick of time. RRL this time will take the kill on the Ember. It's going to allow him to get that Maelstrom timing just a little bit faster, and you give props to the Ember, John. He's not too far off it now. Just needs about 700 gold.
Yeah. I mean, everything's lining up for Ravens. Full Radiance already up here on Argus, so they can just constantly invade, keep that farm game going. On the Alk, feed off of the Eidolons. It gets scary now for CDUB. This lineup does need a fast start. You're just not finding that fast start you'd want. You're 5k behind. You are up against Doom and Alk, to be fair. That's still not a good feeling to have all your lanes kind of hit this low point. Now, Double King at least has the Sacred Relic flying out, I do believe. So it should have the Radiance timing not too far behind an Alk, which is decent.
Oh, Mark.
But
he pops the Sonic Wave to... Oh, hold on a minute. Wake me up. Make me up. Maybe going a bit far. Fiend's Gate's going to be there as well to make sure that they have more bodies incoming. Wake me up. Going to go down. And he will get the tip here from Mark. So in case you didn't see that on the main stream, basically Mark popped the Sonic Wave to claim all the stacks here in the Dire Triangle. So the Ancients are still there, but Mark, he gets a little bit of revenge. Taking, I believe, a triple or quad stack in the on the large camp of the Dire Triangle. Very well worth popping the Sonic Wave for that, and even finds a kill onto the Rubik.
Yep. First kill of the game for CDUB. Sets a good tone. They're still lagging behind, but you know, it's something. And then that's what you need on CDUB right now. Just find what you can get and try to prevent the side of Ravens from just playing this free farm game and try to punish on the stacks. It's still a long ways away until we start to see CDUB really reel it in, but they do have Black Hole ready on Duster early on. He is rushing the Blink. So it looks like they will want to rely on that Enigma for a lot of this team fight. Argus chasing Sanctified. 2 tree hits.
Gets it. Nice and easy. And Argus has had the dream Alchemist start. He really has. Like 3-0-2. This Underlord has had no real impact against this man. Lands another stun. Not going to get a kill, I don't think, but he's going to try. Isla will just TP out, and hell, I said he wasn't going to get a kill. Had he not TP'd away, Argus may have actually had a chance. Especially with that corrosive weaponry slow. Mid lane. Kane's out on Mark. He had an illusion rune though, so safe for now, but has no blink for another second, and it's going to be a second too long. Wake me up. We'll return the tip now to Mark. These kind of tips,
man.
I mean, the mental warfare, John, in a game, in a series like this that matters so much for these two teams fighting for Div 1, you know, even a tip like this can really have a big impact.
Now, I'm wondering what happened in their pubs. No, I'm pretty sure Mark's the kind of player who remembers what happens in his pubs and hands out the tips justly when someone feeds onto him. So,
to be fair, the first tip was because he completely outplayed the Ruby. I think that's why he tipped. Wake Me Up seems like too nice of a guy to start drama in a pub. You know, he doesn't have that dog in him, as SVG would say.
yeah, it's fair. It's fair. Yeah, you give, you take. Ravens right now taking a lot more, though, on the map overall, despite these tipping wars. 1-8, 8k lead still standing for Ravens. You're pretty much free farming. Italiano has his full Octarina, so just more gold coming in. No one contesting the Doom, no one contesting the Alk. I don't see a way CDUB comes in unless you just land the sickest of black holes from Duster every single time. Like, it has to be that, because there's no other way for you to win out these fights right now. You're too far behind in your Raid King. Sure, Radiance is up, but this is an Alchemist now with Radiance Manta and a Blink not too far off. This is a Doom with the Octarine once more into his own Blink and DKD. There's just nothing to stop that outside of just a good team fight. Or a really scattered set of fights where Ravens gets picked off one by one.
Bottom lane.
I don't see Ravens being that undisciplined.
Double King trying for a TP. Wake Me Up though. He's got the blink of the quad. That'll be the first life. Beans Gate immediately committed. Wake Me Up gonna try for the TP out. And oh, the Pit of Malice. Not quite there in time as Argus? I don't know about that,
crazy.
Argus. That is a bit crazy. Other side of the bot lane, Italian Gangster now diving tier 2 towers apparently. Trying to run towards his team. RL gonna show up, but the chain's actually landing on the creep. Very unfortunate here for the Ember. The fight will continue though. Double King, no reincarnation. He needs to be careful. It seems like they'll make the choice to retreat here. Not seeing a good team fight for CDUB. Ravens, I appreciate how much they're playing on the edge though.
Yeah, they're not looking to just sit back. They're starting to see some openings with this item lead that they do have, so they're applying that pressure. I do have to say, Isla, with the decent timing of the Crimson Guard, does make this process a lot slower. There is a lot of damage block coming through here, so it shouldn't be too bad. And for the side of Ravens, I mean, you're still 1-9. You still got the 12k lead. You've already hit the travels, Maelstrom timing for RL, so he can be all over the map. Argus has his blink. He's going for the BKB now.
Sanctified. Oh, they don't see him yet. Telling the Gangster now sees him, but seems like they're just going to leave him. Coddle's going to be fine. Even Duster now showing up on the Enigma. Hell, they've even got the Quap showing up. Mark's here. Black Hole committed. Oh, it's stolen though. Follow up Black Hole.
No.
Wake Me Up. Perfect steal. Finds a double support. Woo! You love to see it.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were waiting for, and this is why this is not an easy Enigma game. And, well, that's exactly why. You're going to need the Lincolns up. Yeah.
Tipping has been the greatest addition to Dota 2. I'll tell you.
It has been. It's, it does certainly lead to some fun moments. The one-man black hole not paying off too much for CDUB is costing. And it's a big kill on the Doom. He is high net worth, but well, you've got black hole ready on Wake Me Up for next usage. And that's going to be a little bit... It's even tougher for CDUB to fight into that. That is their one key control.
playing Duster. He jumped here. Argus now with the blink up. Gonna go in for the supplies initiation. This Alchemist is out of control. I.e. 16.5k net worth almost. Manta, Blink, Radiance, everything's available now for the man. It's gonna be extremely hard to slow down Ravens at this stage, because it just feels like you've got... But anytime Argus sees basically any hero, he can just jump in. Like, nobody can deal with him at the moment.
No. There's no solution. And I don't know what you do scaling up here from the side of CDUB to try to rectify this. Like, your Raid King core-to-core matchup, again, it's not the smoothest for Raid King into Alc. You don't really have a big advantage here outside of just your critical damage, which is nice, but Alchemist is not that low of an armor hero. He will go AC at some point as well, I'm sure, on Argus. So it shouldn't be too bad. Double King with a Radiance is farming decently. He's keeping up almost with Italiano. He is going for the AC, but it's a long ways off from that. You know, you just don't flash farm like an Alchemist or a Doom duo. These guys just farm a lot faster, just by nature of their heroes. So you just don't hit that tempo timing you'd want on a Raid King. And I know, like, it feels like you rely too much on CDUB to get this black hole, but it's not an easy Enigma game. Like, where else are you looking for teamfight? Head of Malice? You don't really have follow-up for that one. Maybe a Will-O-Wisp from Sanctified, but you're a long ways off from finding an Ags on that Coddle. Ravens now with a smoke out. Duster does die for a shard.
Oopsie daisies. It happens. Sad thing is, though, he's not going to be here if somebody gets jumped, and it seems like Sanctify might be that poor target, but no, they'll leave towards the Radiant Triangle instead. Talia and Gangsta and RRL, they're going to run into a much better target in Isla. Chains out to lock him down. Doom out immediately from Italian and Gangsta. No need to mess around. They'll secure a great Underlord kill. And there's no need to slow down for Ravens. Absolutely zero need.
Yeah. Just play the aggressive. You know, you don't really need to save up the Doom for any big target. Anyway, the Quap maybe is the one thing you could argue needs to be prioritized in Doom, but even then, if you're not showing up in Mark, you just find the pickoffs and keep going.
Black Hole committed. RL's going to be there. The Black Hole doing nowhere near enough damage. Sonic Wave not doing it either. Argus just going to TP up though in case. RL, he'll do the job himself, he says. Hurricane even helping him out. Still not enough though. Sanctified, forced to run. Now a double chains out. Duster moving in to try and help, almost going down himself. It's the Fiend's Gate coming through. However, it's not going to help. Double King is down. And they are just playing this perfectly here, Ravens. This game one has been such a wash for the entire end. CDUB have shown no signs of life yet.
It's just been perfection from Ravens. This constant aggression, the lanes just lining up their way. And for CDUB, it kind of boils down to that first phase Enigma. And you talked about this a lot as we close out the draft. This Enigma is just not doing them any favors. They didn't win lane with a Raid King. The Raid King pick also a little bit less than ideal this game, considering your core-to-core matchups. Mark, I mean, he's had a decent time. He is rushing the Ags, has the full Kai and Sanj. Once you hit the Ags, it can feel good. He tries to sneak away to steal the Wisdom Rune, doesn't even find that. Instead, opting to try to clear out Ancients. A bit of a strange choice instead of sniping the Rune, but Raven's not going to ask any questions. We'll be happy with just getting a little bit more their way. And now the Ravens do have Roche access. With that acid spray and the damage you have in Argus, it doesn't take too long here.
It certainly does not.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
T2 tower. He's going to get down fairly quickly. Italian Gangster going to be left behind to do this himself. RL leave the building, back down to the mid lane to just defend that from the Skelly boys that were there. CDUB, the only game plan at this stage is buy time for our Wraith King. Eventually, he's going to become a problem. Mark, speaking of problems, a bit of an awkward situation here. He's going to blink up north. Wake Me Up still seems to believe he is around, so he'll have a look, but He'll continue blinking towards the Dire Fountain, but Wake Me Up knows. He knows he's up here somewhere. Mark will get stunned up with the Wraithfire Blast. Italian Gangster, he has the Doom, but he wants to get within range. Meanwhile, Argus, he's finished off a Roshan while all this is happening. Mark trying for the Courier, not even going to find that. They get doomed up. Mark will cop the tip. Oh boy. That's rough.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I mean, it's not even space because Roche was being taken by Ravens anyway. Doesn't really find a snipe he'd want, so... CDUB just... They're reaching, Mike. They're reaching out for whatever they can find. They're just not able to reach out far enough. That's 20k lead, 2-16. This sounds very negative, but I'd frankly say it's almost time to consider just watching your hands of this game and go next. I don't know if you have any timing spike back. You mentioned the Wraith King being a problem down line. I don't think he does become a problem. I don't know if he can be a problem. I don't think this game hinges on your Wraith King. Like, your Wraith King can equalize in farm, or at least catch him in itemization. It's still not going to be enough. It hinges on, like, really good chain of events here where Duster somehow gets a black hole without being interrupted. You pin down the Doom and the Elk, and you get control onto RRL. And that's just not as easy. So even if you stall out for Double King, I mean, you're never going to overtake an Alchemist, number one. Number two, it's like Reincarnation doesn't do much for you here either, unless you bait out Doom on Italiano, but Italiano can always itemize for Ags if the Wraith King becomes an issue down the line. So, I know, like, I'm just not seeing the answer here for CDUB outside of stall. When do they get control back of this game, if ever? I just don't see it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I think it's still possible, but it's certainly a big challenge. Ravens now looking towards the tier 2 mid tower. We'll make short work of it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Split push at the top lane is there, though, to force at least a couple back, so RRL will take care of that. I hear a Doom down a bot lane. It is going to be onto Mark again. They'll drop the Fiend's Gate to try and help him get out of this situation, and it is actually going to work out. Mark is out of there. Duster moving in. Italian Gangster is actually going up against two right now, as they are both getting through the Fiend's Gate, but he's not allowing it. The Infernal Blade spam. Duster can't make it. He can't make it out. With the Octarine core up on Italian Gangster, he can just perma-stun them.
Kara went through the gate.
Meanwhile, bottom, Kara did go through the gate and ends up finding out the hard way where it goes. Unlucky.
He got the tombstone down. He did help buy some spacing out for RL. So all things considered, it's all right. You know, you sacrifice. You can call that a sacrifice for your Ember. Maybe an unnecessary sacrifice, but sacrifice made nonetheless. 3-17. 5 kills away for Ravens to give us the meme score, Mike. Almost there.
Very good.
If they don't bleed out any kills, we shall see if they can get that done. CDUB, they're finding a couple of openings, but again, it's just not enough. They're at the point now where RRL's ahead of Double King and Farm. Again, the Wraith King is just, it's not able to capitalize on any sort of advantage. And that's where Wraith King kind of shines, just having an item advantage, having this Desolator blink timing with the armlet. And this time around, it's forced to be aura buildup on the Wraith King, which still works, but you're not finding anyone to burst. It's a hard game. It's a hard game for CDUB. It's a hard draft to execute on. Inside of Ravens can just kind of chill out now. And they've got a backpack BKB for Argus, with the Aegis still running for him in 40. Full Blood Torn up for him now as well. So more damage to fly out here, more control for something like the Quap, who has nothing defensive up. And I mean, Mark is working the map pretty damn well, dancing around, jumping through the camps, but
Silence is there. Mark, stunned up, in trouble. Gonna blink towards the west, try and TP away, but the chains. RRL not allowing it. Mark handing the tip to Argus, but it was a bit too early from Mark. Alright, we'll hand the tip back the way of Mark. Thank you very much, they say. The Corp just, yeah, he's just not having a game here. Mark, he's still doing a great job of split pushing the lanes, but that's about all the impact he can have at the moment.
Yeah, he's just Again, trying to farm up. He does hit his Ags timing at the least. So you do have that Shadow Strike to play with. That could maybe complicate these fights a little bit for Ravens. And I'm still not seeing it. RL.
Lane. Jump in, Isla. Gonna be okay. RL thinking about continuing to go. Italian Gangster now rushing in. Does have the Doom available, but he's maybe gone a little bit too deep. Solarbind will be thrown out, but he does survive. What aren't you seeing, Jonathan? All right, never mind. CDUB. They're still holding on to this game. 22k advantage the way of Ravens. But CDUB are not out of game number 1 yet. Still an opportunity to try and make the big comeback happen. That would be a huge comeback here in this kind of game. Ravens just trying not to drop the ball here, trying not to mess up. Looking very clean thus far. Heading toward that top lane. Argus will channel the stun, but will not be able to throw it out in time. Just not seeing the opening.
Radiant's top tower
Argus looks like he'll just get stunned on the tier 2 top tower.
Just nothing to stop him. I mean, there's no clean answer for the Alchemist here. All Mark can do is just cut off the creep waves, prevent the high ground from coming out. And again, Mark's done a fantastic job of just stalling this game out as much as possible, but
Radiant's top tower
it's a question of for what? That's like, you're stalling out for Raid King Blink BKB, alright. That's maybe gonna do something. Probably not up against the Doom and Alk. RL's just been going a little bit crazy with his Ags up. Does have a haste rune to get aggressive with as well. So they can just look to run around. I mean, your high ground hold here from CDUB is decent. There's always the threat of Black Hole. That can be pretty strong in a high ground defense scenario. So it's not the worst thing in the world. Argus trying to clear out the Tormentor. Does go Raven's way, so you get the freebie here for Italiano. Infernal Blade with the added damage can feel nice now. They are hunting Mark just a little bit here.
Yeah, trying to find this pesky co-op. They know Mark's still hanging around somewhere. Meanwhile, Argus is going to get dusted down at the bot lane, so a free pickup for him once again on the Alchemist. 6-1 of the game. Mark going to show himself on this tier 2 tower. We'll clear it out. Onto the cliff he goes, and there's no vision in time. Wake me up so close with the gem, but not quite close enough, just barely missing out. Meanwhile, mid, Isla gets jumped from by RL, but it is just the Ember. RL just going to try and force the Underlord away. Not allow that free farm to come out. I do think the Blink BKB is going to be a timing for Double King. I'm not saying it's going to be enough to actually make the comeback happen, but if it allows him to burst down a support or two, at least you actually have an opportunity to maybe land this black hole and give yourself a chance to pull off a team fight win. Probably one of the only chances they have left of making the comeback happen is this the spike of the BKB Blink. Argus going to jump in before that though. The Wraith King, he needs some help right now. Fiend's Gate will come through. Double King, he's going to be just fine. Or is he? RRL not able to land the chains.
It does connect, but the root doesn't stop the channel, unfortunately. So, managed to channel right through. Would have been a nice kill. You probably did have enough to take Double King down 2 times.
Oh, Mark. Top lane, they've got the co-op again. The thing is, Mark has to do this. There's no choice in the matter. Even though it looks really bad, like that he's continuously dying, he is doing the right thing.
Yeah, he's stalling. Buying that time. And you find Double King again, though.
They do. Double King still has Reincarnate, still has a TP available, also has the BKB up, so there is actually some turn potential here. Problem is now the Aghanim Scepter Doom is out from Italian and Gangster. Duster, though, able to get force-staffed away. RL jumping in. They really want the fight. They've got Duster. They've got Sanctified. They even found the Wraith King first life, and now they've got the Underlord. It's a complete mess in the bottom lane. Ravens are just smothering CDUB. No chance. So get the bot racks. No problems here for Ravens. Into the mid, and well, this is is probably the stage where I think the GG call might come. CDUB, they might have a combo as to what happened in this game
I know what
but
you do. Like, you are so reliant on Black Hole, but it's just not an easy game for Duster. No BKB, no Blink. He has to run up and try to commit. Just get your spacing right and wake me up. It doesn't matter.
yeah, Duster, he is gone again. It seems like it's around that time. They might try defending one more time because this is for the Div 1 slot for CDUB. So every game in this best of 3 series is just proving to be so important for them. Even if there's a 1% chance of a comeback to happen for CDUB, they've got to take it. It'd be a real shame to miss out on Div 1 through tiebreakers if you lost this series to Ravens. But Ravens, they're looking to put a nail in the coffin here for game 1. Tier 3 tower down, they'll move in. RRL being so good on the Ember will jump in onto the Quap. Mark is going to be okay to back his way out. But Ravens, they will stick as a team. They'll get the Megas up. And now the game becomes infinitely harder as Italian Gangster in with a double stun, finding 2. Isla going to be okay to back towards the fountain. Looks like the Wraith King will continue trying to fight through the Aghanim's BKB. Doom out. Double King. Getting stunned up here by Wake Me Up. Pit of Malice will be there to lock down the Rubik. They do at least find one support. Kara, go for the TP play, and there's no detection. He's going to be all right. Thing is, you are up against Megas, so the game is now infinitely more challenging for CDUB.
Yeah, they're hanging on. They can handle Megas to an extent with a Quap and a Wraith King, and would even all of your heroes have really good wave clear, so you can try to hang on. But
jump in again, the Queen of Pain. Mark, Black Hole has been committed. Duster just desperately trying to save Mark, but Mark not blinking out yet, does finally do so. Problem is RRL just chasing him down now with the Ags up himself. Mark will blink onto the high ground. Isla still trying to get some damage done to Argus, but he's copying most of the damage. Have they gone too far here? Ravens looking to retreat. Problem is Argus, he's just so tanky with the Chemical Rage. It will finally wear off, but he's got the BKB to use. He'll pop it. Double King still chasing, hoping for some crits to come out. Stun out again here from Wake Me Up. Meanwhile, Isla finally about to go down. Here comes the cavalry. They've got Sanctified to boot. The first reincarnation's gone, and GG is called. Ravens taking game number 1 in quite a convincing fashion against CDUB. A 4-30 scoreline, which means I believe we got both dreams, John. We got the 3-2-2 and the 4-20.